On the morning of May 15, 2024, in the city of Portland, the air was crisp and clean, carrying the distant scent of dew and fresh-cut grass. For Alex, a man of quiet routine and deliberate habits, it was the best part of the day. He walked to his office every morning, enjoying the peaceful transition from the sleepy neighborhood to the bustling heart of the city. He liked the solitude, the calm before the storm of his workday. But on this particular morning, a sound broke the routine. It was a soft, whimpering noise, a sound of profound sorrow and distress that seemed entirely out of place on the quiet street. Alex's head snapped up, his senses on high alert. He followed the sound to a narrow alley between two buildings and stopped cold. Huddled against a brick wall lay a medium-sized dog, a mix of scruffy fur and matted dirt. Its side was noticeably tender, and a deep mark ran down its leg, a clear sign it had been in a terrible accident. The dog's eyes were wide with fear and discomfort, but they held no aggression, only a profound vulnerability. It was whimpering softly, a sound that seemed to come from a place of hopelessness. Alex's first thought was practical. He was going to be late for work. His second thought was a rush of empathy that overshadowed everything else. He knelt slowly, extending a hand but not touching. "Hey, little guy," he said softly, his voice a low, reassuring murmur. "It's okay. I'm not going to hurt you." The dog's whimpering intensified, but it didn't move. Alex knew he couldn't leave it. He took off his jacket and gently, so gently, placed it over the trembling animal. The dog tensed, but when Alex began to stroke its head, a wave of relief seemed to wash over it. Its whimpers softened into a tired, grateful sigh. Alex carefully scooped the dog into his arms, ignoring the weight and the feel of the dusty ground. He held him close and hurried out to the main street, flagging down a taxi. The driver eyed the tender dog with skepticism, but something in Alex's urgent plea, the desperation in his voice, convinced him. The ride to the emergency animal hospital was a blur of concern. The dog, now curled in Alex's lap, was breathing in shallow, hurried breaths. Alex stroked its fur, speaking to it in a constant stream of soft reassurances. "You're okay. You're going to be okay. We're almost there." In that moment, the dog was no longer a stranger he had found in an alley. He was a fragile, trusting creature whose life was in his hands. The vet, a kind woman with tired eyes, told him the dog had sustained some injuries and needed careful attention, but there was no major internal trauma. It was a miracle. Alex visited every day for a week, watching the dog slowly heal, the fear in its eyes replaced by a growing, cautious affection. He decided to name him Leo, a name that signified strength and courage. The day Leo was ready to go home, he didn't hesitate. He walked out of the clinic and into Alex's arms, his tail giving a soft thump against Alex's side. A silent thank you. The ride home was nothing like the first. It was filled with a quiet sense of rightness, of two souls finding their place together. Their life together settled into a comfortable rhythm. Alex, who had always been a man of quiet solitude, now found joy in shared moments. He'd come home to the frantic, excited patter of paws and a wagging tail that was a testament to pure happiness. They'd eat dinner together, Alex on the sofa with a book, and Leo curled at his feet. They'd go to the park, where Leo, now fully recovered, would chase a frisbee with a speed and joy that seemed to defy gravity. They'd spend lazy Sunday afternoons on the carpet, where Leo would roll over for a belly rub, his trust in Alex absolute. Their games were a language of their own. Alex would hide a tennis ball, and Leo would hunt for it, his nose twitching with determination, his reward a round of boisterous laughter and a scratch behind the ears. Their daily farewells were a ritual of love. Every morning, as Alex headed for the door, Leo would follow, sitting by the mat. And watching him leave, his head cocked to the side as if to say, "Be safe." And every evening, without fail, Alex would find Leo waiting by the front door, his entire body wiggling with excitement. Their home was no longer just a house. It was a sanctuary filled with love, affection, and care. One Tuesday evening, the routine was broken in the most unexpected way. Alex was trying to fix a small crack in his living room ceiling. It was a simple task, one he had put off for months. He stood on a slightly unsteady chair, paintbrush in hand, when he lost his balance. He tumbled, the chair clattering to the floor, and a sudden sharp ache shot through his left leg. He lay on the floor, breathless, his leg resting in an unusual position. The discomfort was overwhelming, and the shock left him unable to move. Leo, who had been sleeping in the corner, was instantly awake. He rushed to Alex's side, whimpering, his ears flat against his head. He nudged Alex's face with his wet nose, his whole body trembling with distress. He seemed to understand that something was terribly wrong. He licked Alex's face, his tail wagging a frantic, anxious rhythm. He tried to nuzzle his head under Alex's arm as if to lift him, but Alex was too heavy, and the dog's attempts were futile. Leo ran in frantic circles around Alex, his barks no longer soft whimpers but sharp, piercing cries. He ran to the front door, scratched at it, and ran back to Alex, a clear message in his eyes. When Alex didn't move, Leo ran out of the room, through the open gate of the garden, and into the street. He had to get help. David, a kind man who lived 2 blocks away, was on his evening stroll. He enjoyed the quiet of the neighborhood at night, the soft yellow glow of the streetlights. As he passed Alex's house, a frantic barking caught his attention. He saw a dog at the gate, a blur of motion and sound, barking with a desperate urgency that was impossible to ignore. Most people would have walked on, but something about the dog's desperation pulled at him. He stopped, looking at the dog, which was now looking directly at him. The dog's tail was wagging, but it wasn't a happy wag. It was a plea. He barked once, then turned and looked toward the open gate, then back at David, as if trying to tell him something. Curiosity won over caution. David came closer, and the dog whined, then nudged the gate wider with his nose and began to trot purposefully down the driveway, looking back every few steps to make sure David was following. David's heart pounded with a mix of unease and intrigue. He had a feeling something was very wrong. He followed the dog inside the house, his footsteps quiet on the tiled floor. The dog trotted ahead, stopping at the living room doorway. When David peered inside, a wave of concern washed over him. Alex was lying on the floor, his face pale with discomfort, his leg in an unusual position. "Oh my goodness!" David exclaimed, rushing to Alex's side. Leo, seeing that his message had been understood, sat down beside Alex and began to lick his hand. His mission complete. The barking was replaced by a soft, content panting. David immediately called for assistance. While they waited, he covered Alex with a blanket he found on the sofa, trying to offer what comfort he could. The dog sat between them, a silent sentinel, a guardian who had just saved his best friend. The journey to the hospital was a blur of flashing lights. David rode in the transport with Alex, holding his hand, while Leo, with permission, rode in the front seat, his head on the dashboard, watching the world fly by, his loyalty radiating in every gesture. Alex's leg had sustained a serious injury that would require a cast and a few weeks of recovery. In the hospital room, with the calming medicine finally taking effect, Alex looked at David and said, "You came. Why did you come?" David smiled, a warm, genuine smile. "Your dog. He came for me. He wouldn't leave me alone until I followed him. He's a good boy, a very good boy." Alex looked at Leo, who was curled up on the floor beside the hospital bed, his head on his paws, watching over him. Tears welled in Alex's eyes. He had found a friend, a guardian, a family, and a stray dog he had found in an alley. Over the next few weeks, as Alex recovered at home, the three of them, Alex, Leo, and David, formed an unbreakable bond. David would stop by every day, bringing food and good cheer. He'd play with Leo and sit with Alex, their conversations easy and natural. The friendship that began in a moment of crisis blossomed into something genuine and lasting. The day Alex's cast came off, David was there to celebrate. They went to the park, the three of them, and threw the frisbee for Leo, who ran with a joy that seemed to echo in the laughter of the two men. Alex had always been a man of quiet solitude, but now he was a man surrounded by friendship and love, all because he had stopped to help a grieving dog on a quiet street corner. The greatest journeys are not measured in miles, but in the moments that change our direction forever. For Alex, that journey began not with a step toward his office, but with a simple choice to kneel down and offer a hand. The story of a man and his dog is a testament to the idea that love is not an accident of fate, but a conscious decision. It is a reminder that a single act of kindness has a ripple effect we can never predict. That compassion can heal not only the wounds of another, but also the loneliness in our own hearts. In the end, Alex discovered that by helping an animal in need, he found something far greater than he had ever lost. A friend, a family, and a purpose forged in the purest form of love. We bring you stories like this to offer a moment of peace in your day and remind you of the profound connections that make life meaningful. We hope this tale of extraordinary loyalty and kindness has provided a sense of comfort and a powerful reminder of the ripple effect of a single act of compassion. If this story moved you, please consider subscribing to our channel and liking this video. Your support helps us share more of these incredible tales of love and companionship. Don't forget to comment below with your thoughts on Alex and Leo's story. Our next incredible story is on its way, so stay tuned.